Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Simple Politics. My name is Zizi Polupelwane. So today I want us to speak about Gayton Mackenzie. And the only reason I want us to speak about Gayton Mackenzie is because this is the very first time I've heard Gayton Mackenzie speak and I can actually listen to him. It's the very first time I hear him speak and I'm like, okay, I might not agree with what you are saying, but at least I can listen. Yeah, understand. Or it's the very first time he's speaking and he's not making like drastic jokes, see, all those things that he likes to do. It's quite a long clip, but Gayton Mackenzie speaks about, he gives his predictions on the 2026 elections. And the reason he was asked about his predictions there is because it is believed that the last predictions that he gave, they all came through. And with predictions, you must not dismiss. There were predictions before the elections were saying, hi, MK is going to be 14-15%. And I was like, in what world? So I got the shock of my life. I got the shock of my life. So never dismiss predictions. I don't care if you don't agree with them. Rather, make sure whatever that is being predicted doesn't happen. Because if you totally dismiss, you are going to be in for a surprise. So yeah, I think let me not speak much because the clip is quite long. But in this clip, Gayton gives predictions on the EFF. Uguti, is the EFF dead? He mentions that the EFF is in a coma and will be in a coma throughout the 2026 elections. So we'll wake up after that. So I want us to listen to that. He speaks about the Freedom Front Plus. He speaks about the PA, his own organization, which is very interesting. He speaks about the ANC, that the ANC is busy focused on the 2027 elections. They're not as focused on the 2026. He speaks about the DA. And he says the DA is also in trouble. And then he speaks about the MK, and he seems to really like MK. Maybe not like MK because it's part of predictions. Even before, when he predicted that the MK is really gonna do well, MK did well. Yeah, well. But also even in the, I don't know if you remember when they had the interview in IEC, Gayton Mackenzie was there speaking to Zuma. So he does have a soft spot for Zuma. I must say, he does have a soft spot for Zuma. So, and then at the end he concludes, I think the question was, how can we save South Africa? How can South Africa be saved? And he says that the only way to save South Africa is the GNU. But let's have a listen. I want you guys to listen to Gayton Mackenzie. Yeah, I want you guys to listen just from the horse's mouth, and let's hear what he's saying. Very interesting though, I must say. And I must say it's the first time I hear him speaking. Like without making those silly jokes or saying things that don't make sense, actually speaking a little bit of like properly. And I think he was also in his element because he was in a business setting. So that is definitely his element there. He was definitely in his element. And I could see the way he speaks. I could see the way he's composed. He just his composure. Yeah.
Selection. I want to talk about that. Yesterday I had, last night I had dinner with some very good friends of mine that invited people that I met for the first time. And they asked me a question. They asked me, and I'm going to repeat it here, I said it last time. They asked, do you think EFF will make it? Is EFF dead? I said, no, EFF is not dead. EFF is in a coma. But it's a coma that they will wake up from. Trust me, I don't like those guys. But Malema is smart enough to find his way back. He's been given a setback that the best amongst us would have acted the same way that he's acting. He's lost 4 of his top guys, or 3 of his top guys. He lost Dalim Pofu, he lost Ndlozi, he lost Floyd. That's an earthquake. It's like losing 80% of your board is speaking your language or your management. But I think Malema will bounce back around 2008, 2028. He will bounce back around that time. But for now, the next election, he's still going to be in a coma. That's my opinion. The Freedom Front Plus. I think the Freedom Front Plus is going to rise simply because they got a very, very different type of leader this time. Corny Mulder is one of the smartest people I've met in my life. And I think he's got it in him he understands issues. And I think the Freedom Front Plus is going to rise. The Patriotic Alliance, the party that I lead, is the fastest growing party in South Africa. And what helped us is that we have a core base of very loyal people. So we will definitely do better than what we did last time. The ANC, I think the ANC is in much more trouble than what they are willing to admit. The ANC is in serious trouble simply because there's certain people in the ANC that is more concerned with 2027 leadership than the 2026 election. Now that's a big problem. You know, if a person politically can't realize that 2026 is much more important. So the ANC is in big trouble because they're having the elective conference to replace, to stand as the next leader of the country and the ANC per se in 2027. And that is a massive problem for them. A massive problem because their attention is not fixed on 2026, but their attention is fixed on the leadership. If you ask me which party except the Patriotic Alliance, the DA. The DA is in big trouble. You see, the DA has, and maybe you want to hear this, but you're going to hear this today. When I meet people in the Western Cape and they say to you, the DA is doing such a great job, I already know this person doesn't understand what's happening around him. If you live in Cape Town and you think the DA is doing a good job, you don't know what's happening around you. Because the DA is doing a good job in a 5-kilometer stretch. Go to Menenberg, go to Bonteheuwel, go to Langa, go to Guguletu, just go there. I've got a deal with Rob Hersov that says the DA does well. And I know Rob, he better keep his word because I know he's going to keep his word. Rob Hersov is going to live in Khayelitsha for 2 days. I said, you go live in Khayelitsha for 2 days because Rob is crazy. He says, I'm going. So we are now making arrangements for him to go and live. I said, when you come from there, you must tell me, and I'm going to film it and I'm going to play it on Buzz News. Rob Hersov's 2 days in Khayelitsha. I said to him, you cannot. You going to watch it? Oh, there's Rob. So you're going to watch it on Buzz News. I'm going to film the whole thing. I got the film crew. He's going to live in Khayelitsha and he must come back and tell me what he always tells me. No, but Helen is a great leader. The DA is doing good. Helen is a great leader, but the DA is not doing well for everyone. They're doing exceptionally good for certain people. They are 25 years to fix the Western Cape. It is fixed for some of us that stays in the top suburbs. But it is not fixed. And you don't govern for the majority. You govern for the majority, for all the people, and not for a minority. They've governed very successfully the minority. And you know, the one thing that the DA has not realized, every time they make these posters and talking bad about me, we encourage that. We encourage them to make these posters and paint me as this horrible criminal. That's what we love. Whenever they do that, we know we're winning the by-election. Because our people hate that. The moment the white men come and talk about a colored guy like myself, you've already lost the fight. We know that. Say, Sinte, wat dink die boere van ons? Net so. That is a truth, and we campaign like that. So the DA in my opinion, they got a borrowed constituency. The DA's got a borrowed constituency. They got the colored people voting for them, and the PA is just coming to take that constituency back to its natural home. And that's politics for you. So I think the DA is going to go down, not drastically, but I think they're going to go down. What do I think about MK? Now I've got 2 minutes left, and now you got to listen very carefully. MK, yesterday I had dinner with some friends of mine, and they called other friends, and the one lady said, I'm too horrified to eat, was what you just said. I said, well, ma'am, that's your problem. But you asked me a question, and I answered you. Jacob Zuma, a lot of white people can't get it on your mind can't comprehend the fact that Jacob Zuma is the most popular man in South Africa. I'm going to repeat that. The most popular man in South Africa is Jacob Zuma. Don't ask me, I know your mind can't comprehend that. He's the most popular man in South Africa. He came out of jail, and within 4 months he built a party that's the third largest party in South Africa. Do you know what? This is a man for 10 years that has had negative newspapers every day. If I think Cyril Ramaphosa is the strongest member in the ANC, if there was no Cyril Ramaphosa, Zuma would have already finished the ANC, I can promise you. Because the ANC always had unionists, people that come from jail, people that were in exile. That is part of the currency. And that currency is now disappearing. The leaders that are coming in don't come from exile. Are not trade unionists like Cyril Ramaphosa and them. Are not Roman Islanders like most of the leadership. So somebody asked me, do you think you can stop Jacob Zuma? At the moment, I know I can't stop him. Do you think the ANC can stop him? Hell no, they can't stop him. Can the DA stop him? Nobody can stop him. There's only one thing that can stop Jacob Zuma. Never forget what I'm going to tell you today. If you don't stop Jacob Zuma, he is going to lead this country in 2029. He's strong on his way, whether you like that or not. And Zuma's unapologetic of what he's going to do when he comes in. Expropriation without compensation is number one on his list. And that will destroy property rights. And any country with no property rights is not a country. What will stop Jacob Zuma? The GNU. The GNU will stop Jacob Zuma, and that's the only thing that the DA and the PA needs to understand, and the ANC. Only the GNU can stop Jacob Zuma, because Jacob Zuma has campaigned that the GNU is shit. He tells everyone the GNU is shit. Now, if the GNU is really shit, they're going to say Zuma is telling the truth. But if the GNU can deliver, they're going to say Jacob Zuma is talking shit. The GNU is not shit. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our reality.
Okay, now that I've listened to Gayton Mackenzie, I don't necessarily agree with him. I don't agree with him, for example, when he says that the PA is going to do well. The PA is his party. I don't agree with that. That the PA is going to do well, I don't agree. He says that they've got the most loyal voters. I don't agree with that. And then the Freedom Front Plus, he says it's going to do well. I also don't agree with that. Then he says the EFF is in a coma. It will only wake up in 2028. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. EFF has got a big chance. I think everyone is very sober right now. And then he says the MK is going to do extremely well. Well, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. If people that were voting for MK were sober, I would say MK will not do well because there's a lot of things going on in MK. But looking at the recent by-elections and things, I don't know. We shall see. And then the DA, he says the DA is in trouble. The DA is going to drop. It's difficult to judge the DA because the DA is never visible on anything. It's never anywhere. But when it comes to the results, it always comes on top. So it's very difficult to judge the DA. You can say the DA has no support. It's not going to do well. Which elections, the DA is doing extremely well. And yet, no one has been even talking about the DA. So Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you don't know who I am, my name is Izipolo Pelwana. This is Simple Politics. This is where we talk and discuss politics. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know if you think Gayton Mackenzie is correct. I think that's what I'm interested to know. Let me know if you think his predictions are close enough. Or what do you think? Anyway, guys, a luta continua. The struggle continues. Continues always. I'll see you on the next one.